Morning, everybody. Thanks for joining me as we take a look at your Christmas week forecast, I should say. Maybe you might be working some of the week. Who knows? People's schedules are all over the place this time of year. But in terms of the forecast, relatively got a little bit of a weak system that's going to move through today. And then as we move through the week, we're going to be basically on the cold, chilly side, seasonably cool, cold side. Well, it's cold, but it's just not that much below average. Boy, that was a complicated way of saying temperatures are going to be a bit below average for a bunch of the week. Moderating some towards the weekend. Obviously, today we started off quite a bit below average. It's cold out there this morning. We're going to take a look at some of those numbers as we get into the forecast. And then we've got, like I said, a little bit of snow, basically overnight tonight into tomorrow, and then and then basically after that, we are into a tranquil weather pattern. With basically sun and clear skies through the rest of the forecast period. Let's take a quick look. Here is our system that's going to impact us tomorrow. Notice it is completely disconnected moisture-wise from the Gulf of Mexico, and it's going to be moving kind of pretty quick west to east, so no chance to wrap in any Atlantic moisture, no developing, it's a mature system that's just kind of moving west to east. It's not gaining strength or anything, developing and creating a lot of extra moisture. So what you see is what you get basically with the system. We'll take a look on a radar in a second. It's got some moisture associated with it. It's a pretty vigorous clipper kind of system, but not enough to cause any kind of real significant snowfall. So a light snowfall. There will be some accumulation with it. We got a snowfall map for you later. It will cause some travel. If you're out traveling tomorrow morning or late tonight, it will be a little bit problematic. Things should be getting better through the day tomorrow. We're going to talk about timing, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's what's going on with our forecast or with this system. Here's the radar. As you can see, a decent amount of moisture associated with it. You notice not real heavy snow with any of these bands here across the Great Lakes. And really, again, no way to tap into extra moisture to really increase any of this. What's interesting is it's pretty warm across the central part of the United States, but we are bone-chillingly cold here. So if you will get a little bit of enhancement just in that there's a chance, because you've got that clash of air mass, which is basically why the system is happening. But we do also have to kind of moisten up the atmosphere here because everything is real dry right now. That's why the temperatures are so cold. So in order for that to happen, it's going to kind of, it'll create a little bit more lift because of the temperature difference, basically, that kind of boundary layer, but a little bit, but you also got to deal with the dry air and overcoming the dry air, moistening up the column in the atmosphere so that snow can fall. All right, so that's what's going to happen. That's kind of the basics of what's going on. Let's take a look at some of the details here. Well, first of all, let's take a look at temperatures this morning. This map is not quite as easy as I was hoping to see, so I apologize for that. But basically, you can see we've got lots of 8 to 10 we got a minus 14 here. That looks like that's probably Landgrove. So basically, some cold temperatures. Minus 13 up here. I'm not sure exactly. I think that's north of Plymouth. So hard to tell exactly on this map. But anyway, cold temperatures in across lots of places. The valleys the mountain valleys is where I think the coldest temperatures were. Basically across the country today, unless you headed up Saranac Lake, I would assume upstate New York's probably even a little bit colder than this. They always get a little bit colder than we do. But yeah, very cold temperatures. Coldest day we've had. Maybe I'm not sure we ever got this cold last winter. We really never had a real kind of spike down kind of day. So yeah, it hasn't been this cold in a while. No wind, and things will be moderating. It'll be cold today, not as cold as yesterday. We will slowly moderate through the week, but still pretty chilly throughout the week. We'll take a look at and see that in a second here. Here's the evolution of what the storm looks like. So timing wise on this, precipitation probably starts. This is about between about 7 and 9 p.m. tonight, and then you can notice that precipitation moves through relatively steady light snow, a little bit more snow to the north than to the south. We'll talk about that in the snowfall map. And then we wrap up snow by tomorrow morning, probably somewhere in the 8 to 10 o'clock in the morning range. And things get out of here pretty quick. So the good thing about that is travel is never going to be that terrible with this storm. Although with the cold temperatures and snow, the snow will stick to the road pretty good, even though we're only going to get a couple inches for a lot of us, maybe 2 or 3 or 4 in some of the places that get the most. But with snow-covered roads, it means slow. Now, this with the cold snow, it means that's like good snow to drive on, but it's still snow. So you're going to have to be careful about that if you're headed out. If you wait till noon tomorrow, most of it is going to be taken care of, except for on the side roads and things like that, and things will be getting better pretty quickly. So that's kind of the process of what's going to happen in terms of the snowstorm. Here's my snowfall total map, or snowfall totals. We're looking at a general Not much in the Connecticut River Valley. You're kind of sheltered. Basically, the wind's going to come up over the Green Mountains, and you're kind of on the downslope side, so you get the snow gets de-emphasized here. So just a coating to a couple of inches, and probably closer to the 0 to 1 really than the 2. But you could have a spot that gets 2 inches over here. But pretty limited snow if you head from Brattleboro up to Springfield, up even to like Heartland, places like that. A little bit more as you head a little further north there, and as you head up into the foothills on the east side of the Greens, 1 to 3 inches. And this goes almost to the spine of the Greens. So here in London, where I live in South Derry, we're probably in that 1 to 3 inch range, probably more like 2-ish here, I would say. Same kind of thing if you head up towards Plymouth, or if you head up towards if you head down towards like Dover or down towards Wilmington, places like that, I would think 1 to 3 inches basically. West side of the Greens, a little bit more, 2 to 4 inches, particularly as you in the upslope areas. So, as you're heading up the hill towards Bromley, you're probably more like 3 or 4 inches of snow there. Wouldn't be surprised at all. If you're heading, if you're heading up up the mountain, like in Mount Holly and things like that, on the closer to Wallingford, things like that, places 2 to 4 inches, a little bit more also as you head north into the northern part of Windsor County. One little pocket of 3 to 5 inches, basically, as you get a little bit further north, that sort of areas on the upslope side of the Green Mountains, north of Rutland. Basically, you're looking at maybe 3 to 5 inches up there. So a little bit of snow, nothing too crazy. This will be nice, fluffy, easy to move around kind of snow. No problems shoveling or anything like that. Let's take a quick look at that actual forecast. After that, we quiet right out with all just sun. As you can see, temperatures basically cool, although we're moderating. Christmas Day, nice sunny day, temperatures about mid-20s after starting off in the teens to start Thursday. We start off pretty cold, but then we're starting to warm up a little bit, upper 20s. We're into the low 30s. Some of the valley locations, particularly in the Connecticut River Valley, Route 7 corridor, will probably be above freezing on Friday for the first time in a little while. Things look pretty good. Skiing should be really good all week. Trail counts are pretty good. We've lost some snow since we had so much early in December, but we've had a chance to recover with the cold weather and make a lot of snow this weekend. We've had a little bit of natural snow, so that should really kind of help some. Things look pretty good through the weekend. Even we do warm up some more on the weekend, but not dramatically, I don't think. And the pattern seems to stay relatively quiet. And then the models radically diverge by the middle of next week. What's going to happen? Whether we really, really warm up, that's the American model, or whether we kind of get a parade of storms that maybe somewhat wintry or completely wintry. That's more the European model. Don't know really. It's really too far out to tell anyway. We're talking 10 to 14 days out there. It's not in the realm of possibility to really know until we get a little bit closer. So let's talk a little bit quickly about the weekend details. A winter-like week with a little snow tonight into tomorrow. Basically, timing on that one more time. We're talking anytime between 7 and 9 p.m. things start tonight. And then we're done by between 8 and 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. So travel should be, especially by noon tomorrow, things should be getting better as you head into the afternoon. So if you can hold off travel tomorrow, you should. It won't be terrible even if you do have to travel, but just as an FYI, no school cancellations or delays to have to worry about. Although tomorrow would be the kind of day you'd probably get a delay if school was happening. It's obviously not. Temperatures moderate some towards the end of the week. Skiing should be good with Bluebird days, Christmas Day through Friday. No big storms on the horizon. Temperatures warm to above average by the weekend. Like I said, it would be into next week before we see any storms, and the models are all over the place on those. Way too early to know and what's going to happen with the pattern. We're probably looking at a bit of a pattern change by sometime next week, but what it changes into is anybody's guess. There are a couple options. There's not an infinite amount of options, but yeah, we're not going to get there until we get towards the end of the week. All right. I do want to give a quick shout out to my patrons. Thank them. They help support what I do here at the West River Weather Guy. If you're interested in becoming a patron, you can check the link below in the description below. They get some extra forecasts. They get there's a level at which you get an extended 10-day forecast that I do the middle of each week. They also get you can get all the forecasts emailed to you. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel before, I would encourage you to do so. Helps make sure you don't miss any of my videos. I'll be back on Friday with a look at your weekend forecast. And then certainly this time of year, if the weather gets interesting, I'm back with more forecasts this week. After tonight, in terms of precipitation, the weather quiets down. So this will be my only forecast until Friday. We'll see you Friday morning.